Hello everyone, Frugal Panda here with a trip to Trinidad, Colorado. Quick review of this small city. This is a city. I don't really call these towns. It has a Walmart. So it's not I don't consider it a town. I do consider it a small city. Anyway, I've been to Trinidad, honestly, just to stop at the Walmart to get snacks on our way out of Colorado, usually when we're going south, and to the Walmart to charge my EV on solo trips when I'm going to New Mexico. So this time I made a plan. I said, you know what? I haven't been to Trinidad and really explored it. Also, I've been to Pinyon Canyon. So Pinyon Canyon is a military or army exercised place you go to perform field exercises and stuff out here, tanks and different types of armored vehicles and stuff like that, tactics and all that. And that was a long time ago. Anyway, Trinidad lies about 21 miles north of Raton, New Mexico. So, and Raton's one of the first cities, towns you get to once you get to New Mexico. So I had never been here really like that. So I came here. I had camped in Lake Pueblo State Park, or Pueblo Lake State Park, because I was testing out a camper build that I was working on. And so my plan was to camp. Well, really wasn't a plan there, but it was raining really heavy. And, Pueblo, the lake at Pueblo is very easy to camp, and I know it well. So I camped there and then drove down to Trinidad, which took, I don't know, an hour, 30 minutes, hour, something. It wasn't that long. So anyway, I came down here for brunch and to ride my e-bike. Yesterday was a rainy day. This day, you can clearly see, it's really nice. What surprised me about Trinidad, I didn't want to look up too much. I could see from the highway when we passed it that it looked like a pretty nice little town, nice little city. What I could see. The biggest thing you see, I want to say, when you're driving past on I25, and this lies right on I25, is, I believe it's the church, the Catholic church. So walking around here, the downtown has a lot of charm, a lot of original buildings. It's really cute, a lot of places to eat. It was bustling. The neighborhoods around it were cute, the little houses and stuff like that. It was well taken care of. Issues with Trinidad, and this could be an issue with a lot of places. Lots of homeless people, not in the downtown area, but along the Riverwalk. So speaking of the Riverwalk, 3.5 miles of it's paved and the rest is like dirt, but you're not going to see it in this video. I'll put the video together. I brought my e-bike, my electric XP, and I would, after I got done doing this, I would walk around and ride around, and I did the Riverwalk, and going one way it dead ends, but you go the other way, it takes you through some dirt trails and stuff that's really nice. They go along the river and all this stuff, which I really liked. What you do see on the Riverwalk, unfortunately, is there's quite a few homeless people, and across from either was a Safeway or King Soopers by the trains, there was a little park, and there were so many homeless people sitting there. They were polite. They weren't doing anything. But these aren't a lot of times small town homeless people. These are, what do they call those people? Travelers. That's a nickname they're trying to give, homeless people that are doing stuff like that, is they're travelers, which no, they're homeless people, and a lot of them look like drug addicts. Yeah, and that's just to be honest. Honestly, it looked like people who, like you'd see in downtown Denver area too. A lot of them. Were they polite? Yes. Were they drug addicts? Yes. These weren't, Bob the hobo who rides the rails and stuff. No, these were legitimate junkies. There was somebody standing in the along the river, like, kept picking like glass. I don't know. She was so high, guys. I'm like, oh my God, they need to come get this girl. And I rode past her like 3 different times, and she was literally kneeled down doing the same stuff, like picking through like pebbles. Like, I don't even know what she was doing. Anyway, that was along the Riverwalk. And I suspect that the police go around quite a bit and round up people or get them moving on down I-25 to wherever they're going to after a while. But they do have an issue with that, or once you get outside of downtown, along the Riverwalk. Downtown itself, cute. Lots of small businesses, real nice. People are real nice. And let me go back to it. No issues with homeless folks either like that, but it was clearly, it just reminded me of Denver and a lot of cities. So here's what you learn. Any place that has a river or water around it somewhere, there's a bunch of them there. That's just how it is. I don't know what to say. Getting back to Trinidad. with what I said, I spent a minute or two talking about that. Would I recommend visiting Trinidad? Oh yes, go visit Trinidad. It was nice. The people were nice. I stopped at a place to get something to eat. I got a brisket sandwich. Oh, it was excellent. The downtown is well maintained. It was clean. You see all kinds of people here. They had little thrift stores. They had little places to eat. You had your dispensary or two, is of course if you wanted. They had this little Sistine Chapel right here where there was people relaxing as well. I thought the downtown was really nice. The surrounding homes reminded me of, honestly, a lot of small cities. Reminded me of Indiana. Cute houses, really green. And they have a river running through it too that helps with that. So that was really cool to see. Also, on my way into town, before I actually stopped here and started taking this video, I stopped at Trinidad Lake. I was checking it out for places to go fishing and to bring my son to, because I want to bring my wife back here as well and take her. I didn't do the whole Riverwalk when I rode my electric XP because I only do a certain amount on something I really like, and then I'll stop because I don't want to see it all. I'd like to have her with me, so I don't want to know everything right away. But I was scoping out Trinidad Lake for maybe a place to camp, or if it was just me and him, we both just came up here together and fished or something like that. Trinidad Lake was really cool, and it's right outside of downtown. I mean, right outside of town, really, or maybe it is town. I don't know, but it was nice. It's a smaller lake, reservoir as you call it. What I liked is you could really pull your vehicle right down to the water, I liked that. So you could fish and everything like that. As far as the camper goes, you're not seeing it in this video. I'll show some videos of what I'm working at. It's still rough around the edges, but it's working. I actually camped in it. So, but like I said, if you are in this area, go check out Trinidad. It had a bustling little downtown. I liked the little thrift store in downtown that had all the consignment stuff. I thought it was really cool to go in there and look at it. There's trees everywhere, and you're not seeing that many people. I try not to record a lot of people, but it was bustling, especially on Main Street. I think it's Main Street. And if I didn't say, Trinidad is 195 miles south of Denver area, and it's on the historic Santa Fe Trail. It's an old mining town here. It was also at one time known as the sex change capital of the world, and I remember that from when I was in the military, like 30 years ago or so. I do remember that when we first came here for a field problem in the military. That's all I knew about it. It was a Santa Fe Trail stop. They have art and cultural revival. They do have a lot of artsy stuff here and stuff, and it does look really nice. Cannabis tourism is a big deal here. So a lot of people come here for cannabis. That beef brisket sandwich right there you're seeing was delicious, and the price was awesome. That's what I love about smaller cities and small towns, is the food be good, and there'd be fair prices, which I really like. Sometimes when I go to the bigger cities, like you get something small and it's like $30. I'm like, really? No, thank you. And then they want a 20% tip. So I always make it's intentional for me to find the smaller hole in the wall places. I'm not trying to be cheap, but I expect fairness. I shouldn't walk into a place and say I got a burger and I paid $25 and it's just me. Let's be honest on that. These little thrift stores here are really cool to go and check out. I went in a couple of them, and I highly recommend going and looking at inside them. They were pretty cool to look at, and all the consignments. They had some cool stuff. They had fair prices. Once again, the prices were fair. I enjoyed looking around. The weather was perfect here. It wasn't too hot. It was probably in the high 70s is what I guess. And when I would take the Ebike out later, I got to see even more Trinidad off the beaten path and some of the smaller, some of the downtown surrounding communities, which I truly liked. That was a cool house right there. Now, some of the houses I saw, I looked them up because I'm always curious, and they had some really good prices on some nice places. Do they have an issue with crime, stuff like that? Of course they do, like any place. But is it on a city level? Of course not. It's not. I don't care. People in the city and small towns say, oh, it is. It's not. But anyway, go check out Trinidad. I recommend it. I think it's a good place to go hang out. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.